vacuum of outer space. When the external air pressure suddenly drops, the air in the lungs expands, tearing the fragile gas exchange tissue. This is especially damaging if the victim neglects to exhale prior to decompression, or tries to hold their breath. Oxygen begins to escape from the blood and lungs. Human survivors from NASA often report an initial pain, like being hit in the chest, and may remember feeling air escape from their lungs, and the inability to inhale. Time to the loss of consciousness was generally less than 15 seconds. Lethal injection. First comes the anesthetic, to speed away any feelings of pain, followed by a paralytic agent called pancuronium to stop breathing. Finally, potassium chloride is injected, which stops the heart almost instantly. Eyewitnesses have reported inmates convulsing, heaving, and attempting to sit up during the procedure, suggesting it's not always completely effective. Hanging. The rope puts pressure on the windpipe and the arteries to the brain. This can cause unconsciousness in 10 seconds, but it takes longer if the noose is incorrectly sighted. Witnesses of public hangings often reported victims dancing in pain at the end of the rope, struggling violently as they asphyxiated. Falling. An instantaneous death. Survivors of Great Falls often report the sensation of time slowing down. The natural reaction is to struggle to maintain a feet-first landing, resulting in fractures to the leg bones, lower spinal column, and life-threatening broken pelvises. The impact traveling up through the body can also burst the aortas and heart chambers. Electrocution. Higher currents can produce nearly immediate unconsciousness. The electric chair was designed to produce instant loss of consciousness and painless death, but that's debatable. It's been proposed that prisoners could be instead dying from heating of the brain, or perhaps from suffocation due to the paralysis of the breathing muscles instead of electrocution itself, because the walls of the skull are a thick and powerful insulator. Decapitation. Very quick. Consciousness is said to continue for a few seconds after decapitation. It's thought to be painless, but the separation of the spinal cord and brain may cause severe pain. Fire. Burns inflict immediate and intense pain through stimulation of pain nerves in the skin. To make matters worse, burns also trigger a rapid inflammatory response, which boosts sensitivity to pain in injured tissue and surrounding areas. As the burns and fire progresses, some feeling is lost, but not much. Bleeding. Anyone losing 1.5 liters, either through an external wound or internal bleeding. Anyone losing 1.5 liters, either through an external wound or internal bleeding, feels weak, thirsty, and anxious, and would be breathing fast. By 2 liters, people experience dizziness, confusion, and then, eventually, unconsciousness. Heart attack. The most common symptom is chest pain, a tightness, pressure or squeezing, often described as an elephant on my chest, which may be lasting or may come and go. This is the heart muscle, struggling and dying from oxygen deprivation. Pain can radiate to the jaw, throat, back, belly, and arms. Other signs and symptoms include shortness of breath, nausea, and cold sweats. Drowning. When victims eventually submerge, they hold their breath for as long as possible, typically 30 to 90 seconds. After that, They inhale some water, sputter, cough, and inhale more. Survivors say there's a feeling of tearing and a burning sensation in the chest as water goes down into the airway. And then that sort of slips into a feeling of calmness and tranquility. That calmness represents the beginning of a loss of consciousness from oxygen deprivation, which eventually results in the heart stopping and brain death.